YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here. It's been a while since we've been in a Total War Rome 2 online battle. I had kind of renamed my online battles to CommuniCast, but I don't know. It didn't seem like people were catching on or whatever, so I'm just going to rename it back to online battles. I was trying to maybe make it fresh and easier by putting all my Total War online battles in one folder, and maybe I can still do that. But hey, for the sake of simplicity, we'll just name it what it is, and I won't rebrand something that's been around so that you all know what it is. This player, Johan, and I've played against him before, and he uses a Suebi, very dedicated, in a very dedicated fashion, that is. He likes them, he plays with them a lot, and he likes finding ways to utilize them well. And he sent me 3 different replays. We'll take a look at all of them. I don't know if these came in any particular order, or if I'm showing them in any particular order, but here he's going to be playing up against Pontus. Now, Pontus has scythe chariots. They've got interesting archer and slinger variety. They've got heavy shock cavalry in the form of the Pontic Royal Cav. They have Cappadocian and Noble Blood Cav. They've got naked warriors that are quite cheap. They have hoplites. They have pikes. Their swords are pretty crappy, but they also have mercenary Scythian archers. Basically, Pontus has quite a few tools. They are not a very strong faction in terms of like infantry or something like that, but they have some interesting support units. But so do the Suebi, and this is going to be interesting. So think about one of the most annoying things to face as the Suebi would certainly be these mercenary Scythian horse archers. Well, let's see what the Suebi brought. Germanic slingers have an excellent missile block chance. I think it's like 40% block chance or something. It's huge. And they don't do a ton of damage in and of themselves, but they're slingers. They have a lot of ammo. They have long range, and they can certainly be used to good effect at keeping horse archers at a distance, better than archers for the most part, because sling volleys are a lower arc, and they tend to hit their targets better when moving. So they don't do as much damage in general, but slings do tend to do slightly better armor-piercing damage in Rome 2. Not in Attila, but in Rome 2 they do. Let's take a look at the Suebi army. So seeing Spear Brothers up front, 2, 3, and then these are Spear Levy. And it looks like one more Spear Brother out here. I see 2 Sword Masters there. And I see another Sword Master out here on this flank. There's a Germanic Slinger on each flank. I see a Noble Rider on that flank, Germanic Scout there, Germanic Scout in the center, Sword Master General. 2 Bloodsworn backing up the Spear Levy, who are also supported by Slingers. And there's another Slinger there, so what is that? Is it going to make 5 Germanic Slingers? Yeah, it's 5 Germanic Slingers. No, these are Germanic Youths. So these are meant to support against Cavalry, the Germanic Youths. Scout Riders over here. Yeah, so the Youths are probably meant to support against Chariots or Cavalry, which is a pretty good plan. Let's see how the Suebi army pans out. I mean, so he's got some hard-hitting units, and he's using the Spear Brothers nicely here to absorb fire from the horse archers. The Pontic player is picking at him, and then he's got Eastern Slingers in the center. Now, the thing is, the Eastern Slingers, like straight on with the Germanic Slingers, will certainly be a waste. But it looks like the Eastern Slingers are picking at the... No, they're firing at the Germanic Slingers. So yeah, that's going to be a hard battle for them, because the Germanic Slingers don't do a ton of damage in return, but they can tank a lot of damage because of their block chance. Let's just see these horse archers. 8 kills, 20 kills, 3 kills. Just being annoying. You know, having horse archers on your flank is usually pretty unnerving. Spear Brothers are under heavy fire. They were taking horse archer fire. This flank is overloaded with 2 mercenary naked swords and a Celtic warrior, and then there's a lot of there's a lot of cavalry here in this backline for the Pontic player. This right here is a nightmare for Suebi troops if it gets the charges it needs, because these are all very heavy, and most of the Suebi troops are medium to light. You don't even Swordmasters are medium infantry. Yes, I mean you're talking about very light infantry, but you know that gives a Suebi the advantage of being fast and having good charge bonuses, maneuverable, all that kind of stuff. The Scout Riders are trying to chase off the Horse Archers. They get a couple of kills with their javelins, but they're also taking a ton of damage because they're not really meant to tank out archer fire. So the Pontic player here is doing a good job of being annoying like Pontus needs to be successful. A straight-on infantry engagement as Pontus versus almost any faction is suicide. So the Pontic player has to be patient and play these specialty units well. I mean, just look at him here picking at Spear Brothers, just, again, trying to be the biggest nuisance possible for the Suebi player to pull their units apart and to open them up for the shock cavalry to do what it does best. So the Suebi player is always going to be hard-pressed, even with Germanic Slingers, to protect against this kind of action. I do like the self-sustaining flanks, though. You've got skirmishers with spears, with swords, and a scout rider support. So very nice way to support a flank to make it not as enticing for the enemy to just try and overwhelm it. Scout riders here are probably going to take some fire. Now these are very light missile cavalry, and these are only light missile cavalry, so it wouldn't be an easy catch for the scout riders to catch them. But if they did catch the horse archers, like right here, you can see they're trying to drive a trap, and sure enough, look at this, the scout riders do catch up to this unit here. And in melee, the scout riders are going to be way better than a horse archer unit of this caliber. And look, the noble riders being sent in to try and to get a piece of this as well. So the scout riders kind of breaking up the horse archers here, successfully causing this one to waver, getting a lot of kills now, routing it off the field. So one horse archer gone, the other scout rider being dedicated to this fight, but that means that the Suebi player is going to have to fall back on this flank because they lose the scout rider support. But the Germanic slingers in the center can hold off the Eastern slingers. Sometimes whenever I use the Germanic slingers, I don't even fire back. I just let the enemy fire at me. And I don't see the Germanic slingers firing, so this may be the very, very tactic that's being used. Nope, now they've been given an order. So now he's going to mass fire. These horse archers are being chased down and killed. The Pontic player looks to be moving up, though, while most of the Suebi cavalry is away. But look at this, these very light missile cav being used well here. Again, their speed helps them catch the horse archers, something you have to be aware of when playing against the Suebi. And again, look at the melee statistics on these guys. They're going to be better than most missile cavalry. They are wasting some javelins here into a routing unit, which is a mistake. You want those javelins, but I mean, it's still a great job getting the horse archers off the field there. Great, great work. Eastern slingers are going to die to the Germanic slingers, hands down, every time because of the block chance. So it looks like the Pontic shock cavalry had a charge order here because it knocked over its own men. It's pushing forward with the infantry. There are still spear levy up here for protection. The shock cavalry may be just looking to get in and cause the damage here, but we'll see. Frontal charge right now would not be recommended. They're going to take massed javelin and slinger fire, but they can break through the spears to get to the slingers, which may be their goal. But they're going to pay for it. They're going to pay... Well, I mean, that's surprising how long it took these guys to start dropping. Yep, they're going to push for the slingers. That's exactly what they're doing, and they've already racked up 100 kills. So again, this is why very heavy cavalry is so dangerous to the Suebi. They're light mass. Just look what happens here. 130 some odd kills from a pretty unorganized charge there. Just straight in YOLO. Here comes the Noble Blood Cav and a Pontic Royal Cav. It's going to get a hold of these Germanic youths, though they did get a volley off, which was nicely done. The Swordmaster General being sent to support, as well as the Noble Riders. And there's also, yeah, another Swordmaster. So basically turning his attention from the front. Look at this Pontic Royal Cavalry. Routed like the whole front line. Here comes another Pontic Royal Cav, crossing 100 kills too from a YOLO charge. Again, Suebi have to contend with such things because they just don't have the mass to stand up to these fights. Let's see how this plays out, though. The Pontic cavalry is getting bogged down, and the general is going to escape, but this Noble Blood Cav is taking some brutal losses. The naked swords will get chopped to bits by the sword followers here. If they get a good charge, that'll be good for them, but I mean, they are going to die in droves in prolonged combat. These Bloodsworn here are not engaging. They had an opportunity to get into this combat before these units get another charge. Looks like they just got the charge order, so should help them out a lot. Eastern Slingers are still alive. Most of the Suebi skirmishers are just now coming back to the fight, and they should have some targets to pick on, though there is a Noble Blood Cavalry here that potentially has access to them. The Pontic Noble Blood Cavalry was routed, and back here at least. The Hoplites engaging some Swordmasters here. The Swordmasters will destroy them, but the Pontic Royal Cavalry supporting with rear charges will absolutely destroy the Swordmasters. So again, this is a nightmare scenario for Suebi to be getting hit by the shock cavalry, especially from behind. The Bloodsworn here that got sent in and got the charge is destroying the Pontic Royal Cav and the Hoplites. And the Swordmasters here are just wrecking mercenary naked warriors. Germanic Slingers here about to be charged, but a noble rider coming in to try and save them. There's support from mercenary Celtic warriors. But you've also got slingers and a spear unit out here to protect them. They can fire into this flank. And the Pontic cavalry is starting to fall apart. Look at the scout riders coming in here and mopping up the eastern slinger line while the Pontic cavalry was away. The Pontic Royal Cav is going to chase. But the Scout Riders here should be able to get away and live to fight another day. And look at them tossing javelins back into these units too. That's why these guys can be so annoying. They're very quick. The javelins can be very deadly. Skirmish cavalry in Rome 2 is the real deal. It is a hard counter to heavy cavalry if used properly. It behaves quite a bit different in Attila than it does in Rome 2. But you can see some of the sweet close-up action. So yeah, the main Pontic charge did wreck the Suebi center badly. But the Suebi have enough units left to be dangerous at this point. And if these Scout Riders have javelins left, then this general is in for a number. I don't think they do, but he can't catch them either. This Bloodsworn's going to do a pretty good number on these Hoplites, though the Hoplites might hold. This Swordmaster, though, tanked out all the naked warriors, but I mean, this Pontic Royal Cav floating around is certainly a concern for the Suebi, as is this Noble Blood Cav. And the spears and slingers that were out here got wrapped up as well. So let's see what's left for the Suebi. Take some inventory. I see a Swordmaster, Bloodsworn. Very, very depleted Swordmaster. And look at these Scout Riders clutching it out here. These Eastern Slingers could have been a game-deciding advantage, and the Scout Riders are going to destroy them. So definitely nice move, but I mean still, Noble Blood Cav and a pretty healthy Pontic Royal Cav are going to be a frightening proposal. Oh, there is javelins left. I saw him flying in there. Oh, the Germanic Scout Riders turning and taking the fight. Nope, now they're getting a move order away. I don't know what's going on with these Scout Riders, but they're getting caught by the Pontic Royal Cavalry. Maybe they're trying to be held so that the Swordmaster can catch. And over here, the Hoplites are being surrounded and destroyed. The Noble Blood Cavalry not being engaged here, which is a certain mistake from the Pontic player. They definitely should have been engaged while this fight was going on, so this is a huge benefit to the Suebi player. Swordmaster's over here dying. 2 Scout Cavalry still alive, but with 2 heavy cavalry, these Bloodsworn could easily be destroyed on a single charge, and right now the Swordmasters are not braced. A Pontic Royal Cavalry charge, not in that formation. There they took a couple javelin deaths. Let's see if there's any javelins left on the Scout Cavalry. Ooh, that Pontic Cavalry hit charge speed, and it's catching these guys. Oh, but this opens up the Celtic Warriors to a Bloodsworn charge, and the Bloodsworn will be pretty good on the charge versus the Celtic Warriors, I think. Yeah, they're going to do pretty darn good on the charge. The Pontic Royal Cav going for a rear charge here. These guys are in a dense enough formation if they can get turned around and braced. Yep, they did an about face. They got a jab volley. That's probably even better than bracing in this case, because the jab volley killed like 15 men there. So that was a great jab throw. And the damage from the Pontic Royal Cavalry was not near as severe because of it, so that was a pretty clutch play there too. And the Noble Blood Cavalry is going to have to cycle charge a lot to do the damage, and if it's tired while being chased, it could be a problem. At this point, though, if the Pontic General dies, it's going to be game over for Pontus. And the Pontic General is not looking to be in good shape. He can't flee because the Scout Cavalry can chase him, and the Swordmasters have closed in the gap. So at this point, the Germanic Scout Cavalry simply holds while the Swordmasters come in for the kill. The Noble Blood Cav appears to be turned back this way to try and kill some of these engaged Suebi troops. And they will get some kills on the charge here. Again, remember, medium mass. Looks like they're kind of charging through some of their own Celtic warriors here, though. So that won't be massively effective. And then the other Suebi troops are in the background, and it's going to be a victory for the Suebi. So very well played on the part of the Suebi player. Good game to both, too. That was Greek Heracles on the Pontus side, so you know that that was not an easy game to win. Heracles is a fantastic player. Everybody makes mistakes, too. He had a few mistakes here, and it's one thing for me to commentate on his mistakes. It's another thing for me to actually play better than that, which I could not. And Heracles can definitely play some impressive Rome 2 battles. So this was a cool battle. Interesting faction matchup. You have the very lightweight Suebi, who typically come fairly low armor, but very specialty units, versus Pontus, who is like an Eastern faction specialty type focus. You know, so they're similar in the sense that Pontus and Suebi both have like just really specialty support units, but they're different types of specialty support units. And really like to see how they faced off against each other here. Very nice army pick, I think, on behalf of the Suebi. But not a bad army pick on behalf of the Pontic player either. I mean, just look at the kills on these shock cavalry. And most of that came from a lot of front-on charges there. Managing to pick up some kills with the Eastern Slingers, which is important because there were so many Germanic Slingers on the field. The problem is the infantry here for Pontus, as I mentioned before. That's your challenge with them. You have to do damage with your cavalry and your skirmishers. And because the horse archers got caught up by the scout riders early on, it ended up giving the scout riders a lot of kills and taking away some of the killing power that Pontus badly needed here. It was still a close battle in the end and well fought. But this one ended up going to Suebi. Hope you all enjoyed this. We'll be back soon with more. There's 2 more of these Suebi battles that Johan sent me that I'd love to show you. Hope you enjoyed it. HeirofCarthage, signing.